I'm Billy Harris. You're hanging with Harris with the beautiful Hinoki and the Bird, my good friend David Myers. How are you, David?
I'm hanging with Harris, man. I'm doing great.
You are doing great. You can't
How
be
you
much
doing?
better than that. It's great to see you again.
Welcome.
Very first question, I ask everyone this. You a culinary school guy?
No.
You an LA guy?
Well, I am now.
You are now. Where are you from?
From Ohio. I grew up in Ohio, but born in Boston.
Okay. Where'd you go? How did it all start?
Well, you know, I was lucky enough that my first job was with Charlie Trotter in Chicago. Amazing chef, just
Huge
an
loss.
epic, incredible
Huge
loss.
right
you know,
now.
one of my mentors,
Sure.
and was definitely a tough moment. And then he sent me to France afterwards, so I got to work in Champagne and Reims at Le Carrère, great Michelin 3-star restaurant,
and
got to have that French experience where, you know, live in Paris, travel around,
Sounds
read
horrible.
books. It was a tough time.
Yeah,
tough time. So coming back from France, worked at the original restaurant Danielle, and then finally made my way out to LA.
You have restaurants in Japan. There's obviously a big Japanese influence.
Yes.
At least being a guest of your restaurants that I feel. Where does that come from?
I've always been very fond of Japan, and went for the first time about 7-8 years ago and was just blown away. It was everything I thought it would be and more. From a food perspective, I mean, it's so different from anything that I've ever trained in. So having trained in classic French kitchens to experience what they're doing in traditional Japanese kitchens is a game changer. You know, obviously the flavors of the food I love, the culture I really enjoy. It's a hyper-modern city, Tokyo that is.
Hyper-modern.
It's incredible, and from a culinary perspective, it's one of the most competitive places in the world right now.
All right, so we're talking about everything David Myers here, but now it's time for you and I to get in the kitchen.
All right, my favorite part. Let's go.
The favorite part?
I thought we'd do one of our signature dishes. This is our lobster roll. It's the Hinoki and the Bird lobster roll. One of the fun things about this is that this is our bun, and it's not squid ink.
It's not squid ink, and it's got a great color, so my next question is, I assume it's that, and
That's
I have no idea what that is.
So this is charcoal powder, and we get this from Japan. It's from a small area called Nara. And go ahead and, you can try this here. It's actually bamboo. It's been made into charcoal and then processed to be super micro fine.
It just disappears.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it liquidates.
So
but there's a little bit of the thing.
You got to get a sense of it, right? So we add that into our dough right here.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to warm this up, because you have to have a warm lobster roll, right? We're going to add this just and toast this really quickly.
Oh, look at this.
Let's make our lobster here.
Okay.
So
particular type of lobster.
We use Maine lobster. We steam it. And this is our Vietnamese green curry. Now, instead of doing a traditional lobster roll, we wanted to add the Hinoki touch to it.
It is the Hinoki touch.
Vietnamese green powder, a little bit of aioli. Why don't you try that? It's got a nice spicy note to it.
Am I going to need a glass of water?
You're probably going to need a little water. So this is the aioli. We just basically make our own mayonnaise. I'm going to fold that in so it's nicely coated.
Curry and aioli and lobster and charcoal powder. What's happening here?
I'm telling you, man, what could be better?
This is great.
All right, so we have this seasoned up with a little aioli. I like to add some fresh chives to it. A little bit of shallots for that crunch, that bite. This is the part of the classic lobster roll that we fill in. And then a little bit of lemon,
But it's the whole acid thing, though. That's a big deal,
You got to bring in the acid to it.
Yep.
And season this up
especially with the aioli and the creaminess and the acid. Now we're breaking it down.
Well, just a little bit of the salt.
Do you have a preference?
Pour it in.
Everyone what they like.
Well, for seasoning, I like to use just fine sea salt, and then to finish, I like to use like a Maldon or some Florida salt. This is basically a little bit of Thai basil that we use here. We like it with that flavor, that burst of it. Kind of tear it. We're gonna just stir it up right here. I'm gonna check on our roll. It's really good.
And there is the roll.
Beautiful. Nice and hot. We are good to go right here. So
and last but not least, that's my next question.
This is going to go in. This is the flower of the Thai basil. This is the little blossoms. And we like to finish it with the blossoms. But the beauty of the lobster roll is you have to add a lot of lobster. You need a lot in there. We've added some butter, so it's got this nice richness to it. You've got these flavors that are vibrant, a bit of a punch to it. That's how we like to do it. A little bit of
the Thai basil
flowers
flower
to come on top right there. Just look at that.
So, David, it is the moment of truth.
It's all in one, though, right? What do you think?
I think it's really friggin' good, is what I think.
I know we have a lot of competition, East Coast and all, but we thought this would do well.
Well, the lobster roll is amazing. I'm Billy Harris. You've been hanging with Harris. This is David Myers, Hinoki and the Bird.
Harris, thanks,
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And we'll see you real soon.
See ya.